The story starts in Shinjo City, where an assassin named Shuhei Sakata sharpens his weapon and then drives away in his stylish car. Later, at a beachside house, some gang members, Yakuza, tell their boss, Kawano, that another gang is trying to take control of the city. Angry at his men for not handling the situation well, Kawano stabs one of them in frustration and cuts his face, while Sakata sneaks around beachside house, taking out all the guards he encounters. When blood starts dripping from one window and a man's legs are visible through another, panicked, the gang members try to escape with Kawano through the main door, but the way is blocked by dead bodies, and Sakata skillfully fights off the goons chasing him. Suddenly, a huge gangster throws Sakata through a glass door. The two start battling each other using anything they can grab in the room. At one point, the gangster pins him down, trying to stab him. However, Sakata cuts off the man's hand, leaving him bleeding to death on the floor. After that, Sakata heads to Kawano's bedroom and cleverly uses one of the goons' bodies as a shield to protect himself from Kawano's gunshots. Desperate to evade his fate, Kawano tries to run away by escaping through the balcony. However, Sakata catches up to him and kills him. Just as Sakata is leaving, a hidden goon tries to ambush him with a gun, but Sakata's handler, Akira Fujita, appears and shoots the goon first. Afterward, Fujita hands Sakata his payment for the job and suggests he rethink about retiring from his dangerous work. But Sakata stays firm in his decision, saying that he wants to focus on his family now. Meanwhile, a mysterious person secretly watches everything. After that, Sakata returns home to his wife, Aoi, and his daughter, Ryo. He takes a shower and starts getting ready for dinner. Sakata hears his family screaming and rushes out to find a gang of men wearing demon masks surrounding them. The men thank Sakata for eliminating Kawano's gang, saying that their gang, the Kimengumi, can now take control of the city. When one of the goon grabs Ryo, Sakata tackles him. However, he suddenly stops when another goon shoots an object on the table. The goon starts beating Sakata. Ryo begs the goon not to hurt her father, so Aoi tries to move her out of harm's way and pleads for mercy. Annoyed by Aoi's crying, Goon shoots her in the head. Enraged, Sakata tells Ryo to run, but another goon shoots her too. During this moment, the gang leader explains that there's a demon in the city that takes over a person's body every 50 years, turning them into a demon killer. He says the Kimengumi's duty is to protect the city from this demon. But the angry Sakata swears that he will one day take revenge. The gang leader mocks Sakata, saying he will wait for that day, then shoots him. Afterward, we hear a news report saying that a man named Sakata has killed his family and himself. 12 years later, we see Sakata is in a coma-like state, stuck hospital-like prison for years. Once his prison sentence ends, Fujita comes to take him. Meanwhile, Mayor Sunohara speaks to the media, proudly sharing how he turned Shinjo City from a dangerous place to thriving, modern place. He announces plans for a new resort. However, a journalist named Kamiyama asks about the numerous people who have disappeared or been killed in the past decade, including a leader who opposed the resort construction. Sunohara remains calm and claims that these are baseless rumors. Afterward, Fujita takes Sakata to an apartment in the slums. When Fujita leaves, his relative Raj looks after Sakata completely. One night, while returning home, a goon attacks Sakata, saying, "I am the one whose hand you cut off and left for dead." But seeing Sakata's condition, he leaves him. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, journalist Kamiyama is questioning a scarred informant about the Kimengumi gang. The informant claims Sakata used to work for them as a hitman. As Kamiyama listens, the goon reveals that the Kimengumi gang makes its money through human trafficking and selling drugs. Their conversation is suddenly interrupted when a masked man smashes the van's window. Terrified, Kamiyama runs away, but the masked man chases after him with a hammer and kills him, while another masked man drags the goon out of the van. They force the goon to take his own life by putting the hammer in his hand and giving him a gun. Once he was dead, the masked men receive a phone call. At home, Fujita is playing ping pong and thinking about what happened with Sakata. He remembers telling the Kimengumi about Sakata's family, hoping they wouldn't harm them, but they ignored his request and killed them anyway. While he's reflecting on this, he receives a phone call with unexpected news. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Police Chief Kotaro bribes the two officers guarding the room so they can take a break. Inside the room, he was shocked to see the patient is Sakata. Then Kotaro wears a demon mask and asks Sakata if he recognizes him. Then he pulls out a syringe from his coat. He injects Sakata's IV without realizing that his voice is helping Sakata slowly wake up from his unconscious state and fall on ground. After falling, Sakata seizes the chance to grab Kotaro, causing him to fall as well. Sakata then starts choking Kotaro, but Kotaro uses objects nearby to push Sakata away and delivers a few strong kicks to knock him unconscious. Just then, the officers return and Kotaro quickly removes his mask to appear innocent and avoid being shot. Once their focus shifts, he quietly puts the mask back on and kills one of the officers. The second officer does not react in shock because he is secretly a member of the Kimengumi gang. Suddenly, Sakata regains consciousness and attacks Kotaro. The second officer tries to protect Kotaro. During the fight, the officer falls and gets stuck between the bed and the wall, and Kotaro continues kicking Sakata. But Sakata manages to strike Kotaro on the head. He then tries to choke Kotaro using the IV line. Kotaro struggles fiercely and, in the chaos, the officer falls out of the hospital window. Sakata quickly uses the bed sheets to strangle Kotaro and kills him. Afterward, Raj and Fujita arrive at the hospital and are stunned to see Sakata walking out. Later, the news of Sakata being alive spreads rapidly among the Kimengumi gang. The leader is thrilled to learn that Sakata is alive and declares Sakata a demon. Meanwhile, Fujita receives a message from the Kimengumi, demanding that he deliver Sakata's dead body to them. Acting quickly, they drive to the factory, where Sakata's body is placed into a bag and handed over. Then, Raj and Fujita leave the location. When the bag is placed on a conveyor belt, Sakata breaks out of it and punching a guard nearby. At the same time, factory owner Takamoto watches the chaos through the security cameras. He quickly alerts the gate guard, who starts shooting at the van outside. Raj is killed instantly, while Fujita is injured but manages to fire back at the guards. Afterward, Takamoto uses some of the illegal substance and then puts on a mask, revealing that he is one of the people who killed Sakata's family. And Sakata moves through the factory with unstoppable determination, overcoming every challenge with sharp focus and skill. When he finally reaches the office, Takamoto is not there, so he looks out the window and sees Takamoto standing outside, ready to press a button on his phone. The building explodes in flames, and Takamoto watches the destruction while receiving a call from the leader, who praises him for his success after seeing the destruction. But Takamoto ends the call when he notices Sakata emerging from the debris. The tension rises, but suddenly Fujita arrives and runs over Takamoto with his vehicle. Fujita then collapses to his knees and apologizes to Sakata for betraying him and admits that he deserves to face the same fate. Hearing this, Sakata shoots Fujita. Later, he capturing Takamoto, then hangs him and begins beating him. However, Takamoto only laughs. Suddenly, Takamoto's phone rings. So Sakata picks it up and hears the leader's voice, who reveals that Sakata's daughter is still alive. Furious, Sakata smashes Takamoto's mask and discovers that the goons' leader is Mayor Sunohara. He offers Sakata a choice: spare Takamoto to reunite with his daughter, or kill him and lose her forever. Despite this warning, Sakata kills Takamoto anyway. The next morning, news reporters covered the events of previous night. They blaming Sakata for the attacks. They also claim that he died in the factory explosion. Meanwhile, Ryo Sakata has grown into a teenager and is being watched by Kanta, a member of Kimengumi gang. Kanta oversees the gang's illegal human trafficking operations and looks at Ryo in a way that makes him uncomfortable. At that moment, Sunohara calls Kanta and orders him to find Sakata. Later, in a part of town, police officer Takigawa arrives home and startled to find Sakata inside. Years ago, Sakata saved Takigawa's life. And since then, the officer has secretly helped him by sharing important information. He shows Sakata a video that the Kimengumi killed the CEO of a security company. The same company now protecting the resort. After hearing and seeing all this, Sakata took Takigawa's gun and headed towards the security company headquarters. There he fights goons on every level until he reaches a small apartment-like area. Seeing him, Ryo hides behind furniture, while Sakata saw a board filled with photos showing his daughter with Kanta, who posing to be her father. Just then, Kanta enters the room, and he and Sakata immediately begin to fight. In the confusion, Ryo escapes while Sakata overpowers Kanta. However, Kanta fights back by hitting Sakata with heavy object. Then with the gun in hand he mocks him with cruel words. At that moment, Sakata realizes that Kanta is the goon who killed his wife. Kanta tries to shoot Sakata, but the gun jams. At that moment, Ryo suddenly returns and shoots Sakata in the chest with an arrow. Kanta takes advantage of the chaos and pushes him out the window. When he looks out, he sees Sakata escaping in a car, driven by Takigawa, who rushes him to a safe place to remove the arrow and treat his injury. As Takigawa treats Sakata's wound, his phone rings. It's Tsunohara, who has spotted them on security cameras. Tsunohara asks Takigawa to hand the phone to Sakata. Over the phone, Tsunohara threatens Sakata that if he wants to see his daughter Ryo again, he must come to the resort. Despite his serious injury, Sakata rushes to his secret hideout to retrieve his traditional sword and fancy car. Meanwhile, Ryo is being held prisoner in a resort room, surrounded by armed guards monitoring every exit. When Sakata arrives, he leaves his car empty at the entrance as a distraction, while he sneaks inside unseen. What happens next is a whirlwind of action. Sakata fights his way through goons with his blade. Moving floor by floor, he overwhelms every guard in his path. Unstoppable in his mission to rescue Ryo. Despite the pain, he continues until he confronts Kanta. The two begin fighting, and at first, they seem equally skilled. At one point, Kanta nearly stabs Sakata, but Sakata manages to stop the blade, stabbing Kanta in the eye and knocking him unconscious. After that, Sakata finally reaches the top floor. When he enters a room, he is shocked to find Ryo there. However, she does not recognize him. This shocked pause gives Jin, the last masked goon, the chance to attack from behind, knocking Sakata unconscious. Shortly after, Sakata is brought before Tsunohara, who tells Ryo an old story about a legendary city demon, then reveals his plan to turn Sakata into this feared figure. As Tsunohara prepares to execute Ryo with his sword, Takigawa suddenly arrives and begins shooting. Most goons are eliminated in the attack, but Tsunohara escapes by using one of his own men as a shield. Amidst the chaos, Sakata calls out to Ryo, and Ryo's memory returns upon hearing his voice. Then she escapes with Takigawa, while Sakata begins fighting Jin. Despite Sakata landing a couple of blows, Jin maintains control of the battle, repeatedly overpowering and injuring him. After an intense struggle, Sakata finds an opportunity to stab Jin, and then throws him down the stairs. Following this, Tsunohara removes Jin's mask, revealing that Jin is his twin brother. However, unlike Tsunohara, Jin has a burn scar on his face. While this is happening, Takigawa tries to help Ryo escape the building. Ryo changes her mind and decides to return to find her father, Sakata. At the same time, Tsunohara puts on his mask and starts fighting Sakata with his sword. Due to Sakata's severe injuries, Tsunohara easily lands multiple strikes, eventually severing Sakata's one hand. Despite injuries, Sakata refuses to give up and continues the attack, and delivers a final fatal blow to his head, killing him. Sakata then tumbles down the stairs and sees Ryo witnessing everything. As she tries to approach him, Kanta suddenly appears and shoots Sakata. After that, Kanta tries to approach Ryo, hoping to reconnect with her. However, Sakata then appears behind Kanta and ends his life by attacking him with his blade. Afterward, Sakata collapses into Ryo's arms. With his final moments, he shares a few loving words before passing away. Later, emergency crews including police, firefighters, and medical personnel arrive to handle the casualties. Among the injured, they discover Jin is still alive. Authorities direct Ryo to wait in an ambulance, but when no one is watching, she chooses to flee the scene instead. 1 year later, Jin assumes the identity of his brother and wins an election. After giving an interview, Jin puts on the leader's mask and performs a ritual at a shrine located in the forest. During this ritual, Ryo suddenly appears and shoots Jin multiple times with arrows, killing him. Afterward, she drives away in her father's car.